Hi Taurus, third time lucky. Welcome to your August 2018 read. Tried to start this film twice. Let's give it another go. 3 card power read. Card number 1, your power as you show up in the reading. Card number 2, the block or drain on your power. Card number 3, your key to power. So I'm going to give it one more shuffle. Oh, and I'll then be putting one from the swords, one from the wands, one from the pentacles, and one from the cups. Right, card number 1, as you show up. The High Priestess, nice. My first attempt to make this had the Magician falling out. And I was going to take it, and I thought, no. Start again. Okay, High Priestess. Not a bad energy to show up with. Okay, card number 2, the block or drain. The Sun in reverse. Okay, and one more shuffle. One more cup. Your key to power. The High Priest. Okay. Well, the Hierophant. Well, the only thing holding you back this month is unhappiness. Here in the Sun in reverse. I'm not surprised that the Sun in reverse is acting as a block or a drain for you. Okay, this is deep rooted. This is deep set, Taurus. This is long-term old stuff that is hard to shift. I mean, there are many cards that in the reverse represent a kind of unhappy sort of feeling. You know, basically you take any of the positive cards and reverse them and you've got a negative situation. You know, the Star, the Fool, whatever. You take any of those cards, but especially the Sun. It's so simple. It's just like, no, not happy. But as the power key here is the Hierophant, and you're showing up as the High Priestess, really, this is a long, slow process, Taurus, of digging yourself out of stuff that's been holding you back for a long time. And as I understand it, the Hierophant is you, Taurus. It is the card that they say represents Taurus. And this is about confidence. And this is about confidence in self-belief. I mean, the High Priestess here, as you show up, has wonderful self-belief. You know, she's looking straight at us. She has the book open on her lap. There's no sort of, is it okay for me to be, going on with her. I mean, look, such benevolence, such kindness, such calmness. Absolutely beautiful. Very, very... It's not even a question of being confident. It's kind of gone beyond that. I think what's required of you here this month, in terms of this power key, the Hierophant, is to allow yourself to establish yourself in well-being. It is safe to do so, Taurus. And I just think you've become used to this. You've become accustomed to not being happy, basically, to not feeling fulfilled. And what this is telling me is that you are allowed, that it is spiritually right that you be happy. And I'd even go so far as to say that it is necessary that you be happy, that you allow yourself to be happy in this. You do yourself, those around you, and the world in general no favours by simply maintaining a habitual lack of fulfilment. No one gains through that, least of all you, Taurus. But you might not be that bothered about yourself, but perhaps that's the point. Perhaps that's the point. Yeah, I think perhaps, Taurus, you associate kind of spirituality, shall we say, represented here in the High Priestess, with a kind of a requirement that you suffer, a requirement that you wear a hair shirt, a kind of, mea culpa, mea maxima culpa, and like flagellating yourself on the back with thorned branches. This is not the case. This is not the case. I'm looking out the window here. We have luscious summer. And summer allows itself to be luscious. Even though the winter's coming, it gives a shit. There's an authority requiring this of you, requiring that you cast off this need to be unhappy in order to feel that you're not doing something wrong. I'll put it that way. That the only way you can be sure that you're not being sort of selfish or egotistical or bad in some way is to be unhappy. That's rubbish. But that's what I'm picking up here. That's what I'm seeing here. And the High Priest here, the Hierophant, this is actually an injunction upon you to leave that formula behind. And maybe at some point it was more relevant and it was appropriate, but clearly it no longer is. This unhappiness is not protecting you in any way. It's draining you and it's blocking you. And the High Priest here, the Hierophant, is telling you with spiritual authority that in order to fully occupy the energy of the High Priestess here, this needs to go. It's like, perhaps when you buy something, you take out an insurance policy on it, and then you no longer own the object, or perhaps you've finished using it, or you've upgraded it or something, but you're still paying out that insurance policy, and you haven't checked. This dude here is saying, check your accounts, check your outgoings, because you are paying a price that no longer needs to be paid. Let's get one from the swords. Oh, 7 of Swords. Okay. This came up for Capricorn as well, and it was quite a similar feeling as for Capricorn. And I'll initially say the same thing for this, for you, Taurus, as I said for Capricorn when the 7 of Swords came up as well. Well, I'll put it in a different way. Well-being and happiness and love, Taurus, they are not finite things. It is not the case that if you have them, someone else doesn't. You're coming into happiness and allowing yourself to cancel this insurance policy that is now draining you. It might have served you at one point, but it's not serving you now. And actually actively, under the authority of the Hierophant here, cancelling this insurance policy doesn't mean that you are being kind of naughty or taking anything from anybody. You are allowed to be happy, Taurus. You becoming happier, like an increase in yours, does not equate to a decrease in someone else's. There are some people who might see it that way, but I tell you what, people who see it that way are not dealing with her. They're dealing with her. Yeah, it's a classic narcissistic trait. It's a zero-sum game whereby your well-being equates to their unhappiness and your unhappiness equates to their well-being. No, 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 no. That in itself, that kind of thinking is the thievery of well-being and of happiness. But that's not what this is about, Taurus. The power key here, the Hierophant, gives you the authority to be happy without feeling guilty about it. And you certainly don't have to sneak around. But, you're not the kind of person to kind of advertise this stuff from the rooftops either. But you don't have to sneak your happiness out of town under cover of night. You really don't. Wow, here we go. Ace of Wands. Right. This is a very, very powerful reading. I'm expressing myself very sort of quietly on this, but this is an extremely powerful reading. This is an authority figure here telling you to chuck this out. And this is what then comes in. The Ace of Wands. A new start. A new start. So new, so full of energy. Like appearing out of nothing, bursting with life. Look, these leaves ain't even attached, man. It's like, is it spring? I mean, it's high summer here, but goodness me, this is the card of spring. Wonderful, wonderful. Okay, this is the deal. This is the deal that you no longer have to do. This is the, if I'm happy today, I'll be unhappy tomorrow. Or if I remember to be unhappy today, I might be allowed to be happy tomorrow. What a load of rubbish. This is no longer. There might have been a time, as I say, this might have been relevant. But this push me, pull you energy here in the Two of Pentacles is, we're done with it, Taurus. We're done with it. And we're done with it under the authority of the Hierophant. Oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy. Two aces. Oh, my gosh. Okay, listen. What have we got here? We've got the High Priestess. Yum. We've got the Hierophant. Yum. We've got the Ace of Wands. We've got the Ace of Cups. So we've got 4 superb cards. And these 3, this really is about this belief that you've had, that in order to be happy today, you must be unhappy tomorrow. And that you can protect yourself from unhappiness tomorrow by being unhappy today. This is your power key. And the High Priest is telling you that this deal is no longer valid. Have a wonderful August, Taurus. Cheers, bye-bye.